Okay, so lots going on in the world. Sitting here with Shelley Middlebrook from Right Path Mortgage. Shelley is our mortgage expert. So, what is happening now that we have these tariffs imposed on Canada?
Ah, yes, the tariffs. Everybody's favorite topic. So the tariffs are just getting implemented now and they're coming into play. It's obviously been really up and down with President Trump, whether he's putting them on, how much they're going to be, what they're on. But all this uncertainty is really causing changes in the market. The stock market's taken a nosedive, as we all know, and a lot of businesses have already started off laying off people. So the uncertainty in the market is, impacting, how people feel about buying houses and how certain they feel about anything. It's actually probably in one way causing the Bank of Canada to continue lowering the interest rate. So now they just did their seventh decrease in the Bank of Canada rate. So it's dropped down. We had from March, I guess, 2022, for a little over a year and a half, we had increases, like 10 increases. We've gone down to 7 decreases now. And there probably will still be maybe more decreases. We can't decrease too much, though, because the U.S. hasn't been decreasing at the same pace. They're kind of holding their rates, or they've come down a little bit. And if we decrease ours too much, it just lowers our dollar, so the value of our dollar. However, with the tariffs and the lower dollar, that might offset sort of the ability for us to still sell goods into the U.S., but it's a lot of uncertainty. So right now, I think the thing is rates are down a little bit, which is good news, but and they probably will continue to go down, but there's only so much they can do in terms of bringing them down. And the uncertainty is if inflation starts creeping up again, it could change things too. So there's a lot of unknowns, but right now, the rates have come down a little bit, but there's a little bit more uncertainty in the market.
And are you seeing that there are people still, getting mortgages? Are they still looking to, I know in the real estate market, it has certainly, softened a bit, and we're not having as many buyers, even though they should be getting out there. Everybody is a little bit nervous. Are you finding that people are coming for pre-approvals? Like
It's definitely slowed down compared to what it was a couple of years ago for sure, but last year was already slowed down a little bit and continues into this year. I do think as the rates have come down a little bit, the people who are ready to buy anyway and are in a good position, and they've been saving up and have a down payment or already in the market, maybe move into the next size house, have a good job, they're still going to, purchase because it's a long-term buy and whatever. I think maybe the investors and speculation buyer kind of thing has slowed down a bit because of the uncertainty. But I think if you've got to live somewhere and you're going to buy, the rates are coming down, and it's still, there's probably less competition right now when you're out, putting in offers and stuff. So it's still a good time to buy if you're in the market.
Yeah, for sure. And when do they anticipate that the rates will come down?
Well, you see, the Bank of Canada rate is, when it changes, it impacts the variable rate immediately. So the border rate that it just came down on Wednesday, that did impact the variable rate, so it came down a bit. So the variable rate, or the prime rate, which the variable rate set off, has come down to 4.95. Now, the variables, usually you're getting, depending on the lender and if you're a conventional mortgage or insured or insurable and all the variables involved, you're in the probably range on a prime from, minus like 1%, so, 3.95 if you're an insured and you get a real discount rate, which might have some, you can't pay it off as early or, some other things around it, to, a prime plus a little bit. If you're more on a conventional and high debt load, where you have higher debt ceilings, so you might be a little bit higher. But most people, in the variable are probably in the 4.25 to 4.75 range. And fixed are right around that rate too. For 3 to 5 year, you're in sort of that range. Again, a little bit lower if you're insured, a little bit higher if you're conventional. So it has been that the variable's been higher than the fixed rate for the last couple of years when the interest rates have gone up. It used to be for years variable was lower. People save money having a variable rate, generally saved on how much interest they paid. But now, then the last couple of years, people who had a variable, a lot of them got in some trouble because, or not trouble, but just had a lot higher payments. And they, had to either, if they had fixed payments in a variable, which there's sort of two types of variables with fixed payment, You could end up just paying a lot of interest and hardly any principal down. And even if you got to a trigger rate where you're paying so much interest that it's not even covering any principal, they might make you put down a lump sum or
Oh, wow. Yeah.
you know, increase your amortization or, you know, whatever. If you had a variable where your payments were going up as the rates changed, then you're not in that boat, but you could have had a lot, you know, your payment could have doubled, you know, basically. So the last couple of years have been pretty tough on people with variable rates. Right now, people are taking, I'd say, a mix of fixed rates, but shorter term, maybe 3 years instead of 5. Still hoping that it comes down a bit, but knowing what their rate is. Some people are starting to consider the variable again because it now is around the same. It was higher, but now it is close to the fixed rates. And, you know, they're thinking it potentially could come down again. But with all the uncertainty, you know, I'd say for me, I'm seeing a little bit more on the fixed still.
Okay, very good. Well, there you have it. So we will all stay tuned and see what happens south of the border and get out there and start buying some homes again.